Hi, my name is Shauna Brown, and I am the host of Talk with Shauna. I'm a singer, songwriter, recording artist, currently living in Brampton, Ontario, originally from Wolfville, Nova Scotia. The theme song to my show is actually my original song called Turn Up the Microphone. You can find it on YouTube. If you could all subscribe to my channel, Shauna Brown on YouTube, that would be awesome. Thanks everybody for watching, and here's the show. Hello, everyone. You are now watching Talk with Shauna right here on the Fired Up Network, Female Empowerment Movement. Now, I am so stoked to have an amazing friend that I've known for many years now. She's a singer, songwriter, poet, composer. Her name is Erica Coolness, and she's on the show with us today. Everyone, give it up for Erica Coolness. Thanks for being here, love.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, Shauna. It is such an honor to be here with you and connect with you again and hear your amazing music. It's just so great to be with you. Thank you for having me.
You're so welcome. I'm so glad to have you here. Now, anyone watching, I have known this lady for a lot of years, and we have a lot of history in the music industry together, as well as other experiences being friends. And I just can't wait to share all of our stories with you. Maybe we'll share a few with you today. But my first question is, first of all, for anyone that doesn't know who you are, can you tell us a little bit about your backstory? So where are you from originally, and where are you currently right now?
Okay, I am from Shipuktuk, also known as Halifax, Mi'kma'ki, and I have lived in 23 countries, and I'm at the moment back in Chipuktuk, and I'm heading to Berlin in a couple weeks, and I'm kind of living internationally. My goal is to live between Nashville, Berlin, Nova Scotia, and Mexico or Cuba.
Amazing. That's a lot of countries. I'm jealous. I wish you could pack me. I think next time you should take me with you, Erica.
I will.
Okay, that's so cool. And so when did you first get involved in the music industry? Was there something specific in your life that inspired your involvement?
I have been involved with music since I was a little girl because my mother and grandmother played music and sang, and they got me very involved with church choirs and other singing groups. And so I grew up surrounded by music, and I wanted to become a singer-songwriter. I think upon discovering groups like the Indigo Girls and Ani DeFranco, Sarah McLachlan, these people all inspired me to play the piano and guitar and write my own songs. And I started doing that at age 14. Hilariously, the song that I wrote at age 14 is my number one song on Spotify.
That's amazing.
And it's actually about being jealous of our of a guy who was in love with our mutual friend I was in love with. And anyway, but I have been involved in all different kinds of musical projects throughout my life, and started performing my own music, I guess, in around my early 20s. And it's been a journey from there, and I've continued to write and grow as an artist, and I'm always trying to grow and experiment and learn. And I think that's the most amazing part of the artistic process, is there's always room for innovation and growth and inspiration, and you never know what's going to come next in your artistic career.
So true. Well, we are lucky to have you, Erica. I've always thought you were an amazing talent, and I want to share that with everyone watching. I want them to know how great you are. Um,
Thank you.
so you said you grow up in a very musical family, then, right? Like your family influenced you a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I already know the answer to this, but do you write your own music? Well, just the people that are watching, I know you do, but if you want to tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. Yeah, I write songs. I've also written other music that I studied composition in university, so I wrote some classical music as well. But I decided to focus on being a singer songwriter for social change because that's always where my heart has been. And I find that one of the most direct ways of communicating with people and inspiring people and catalyzing people to create change in their own lives and in our society is by singing a simple song with the piano and the guitar and speaking to people's hearts. And I try to write music that is honest and accessible and can sort of transcend things like culture, age, ethnicity, country, that kind of thing. I don't necessarily always succeed, but it's my goal to write songs that have some element of universality so people can relate to them. And as I've gotten older, as I said, when I was 14 and and up until my up through my 20s, basically, I wrote a lot of really self-reflective work that was a lot about my own healing and transformation and journey in my life. And now, and I think that's really valuable, and I love music like that. I think people hearing their own experiences reflected through your music is really affirming and healing and comforting to people. But now I try to write songs that maybe come from a personal place of, I don't know, rejection or inspiration or confusion. But instead of making them about me, I try to make them about other people or the world in general so that more people can relate to them. So the music has more impact, both personally to people and on a broader scale culturally.
Definitely. And that's important. I mean, it really is a universal language, right? And you want to touch as many people as you can with what you're doing, right? Now you had mentioned that you attended school for music. Can you tell the viewers where you attended?
Yeah, I went to Oberlin College and Conservatory, which is a little awesome, really progressive liberal arts college and conservatory in the middle of Ohio. And I went there because our mutual friend, Giles Herman, went there. And
Yeah.
when I was in high school, he was like, yeah, I'm going to this awesome school where you study opera and it's like queer activism and environmental activism all the time, along with like choirs. And I was like, wow, that sounds like my kind of school. And it was.
Ah, that's awesome. Oh my
Yeah.
God. Were you there at the same time as Giles? Like, did you?
No, I was there after him,
Different
unfortunately.
time. Okay, okay. That's so cool. I
Yeah.
saw a little bit about that, and it's cool to hear the story from you personally that you went. So, did you enjoy yourself there? Did you have a good time? Was it a good experience?
It was so good. I can't even describe it. But let's just put it this way. I lived with awesome people and we were all in a band and we all had like naked parties where we like had like, extravagant food and danced and made out in the rainstorm.
I love that. That is so awesome. I always think of us back home. I was like, we were the new age hippies. Like that's what we were, and we still are. I still remember a story. We went up to, I think, a cabin. I don't know if it was your cabin. It was someone in your family, maybe your aunts or yours or something. We went up and went skinny dipping in the middle of April, and it was freezing. Do you remember that?
Yes, I remember that. Was that the time when we danced? We were having like a dance party and the rafter broke because we were dancing so hard, or was that a
Oh
different?
no, 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 no! It wasn't that one. No, I think it was like there was our friend Daisy was there, and her boyfriend, and me, and Pam, and Sarah, and Camila, and we all went out into the water at in the middle of April, like totally naked, and none of us got sick. I don't know how we didn't, but it was awesome.
We're Nova Scotians, that's why.
I know that's right. Exactly, can't take that out of us, right? So that was
One
a
thing
good.
you have in common with sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, it's a good memory for me. I still remember that to this day. It's just like a good memory. What were you gonna say, girl?
Oh, I was just gonna say one thing that every Nova Scotian has in common is like being able to brave the cold waters, whereas other people just can't.
Yeah, we just swam all across the lake, like the entire lake, and people are like, "What are you talking about?" I miss that. I love that you have the wildlife in the back too, Erica. That's awesome. I love it. I miss Nova Scotia so much. I have to come back and visit. I really do, and I'll be coming to see you for sure. There's no question. No question.
We have to go skinny dipping.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I can't really get away with it here. Well, I try, but we'll talk about that later. Yeah, I want us to talk a little bit more about your music. So, tell the viewers, I mean, you did sort of touch on what it is you're saying with your music. What style would you put? I know it's hard as an artist to sort of put it into a category, but would you say it's a particular style in general, or?
Well, I only describe myself these days as a singer-songwriter because
Yeah.
I have worked in kind of experimental alternative rock. I have
Mm,
worked in folk, very traditional folk, and then I've worked in contemporary folk and Americana and roots music. That's sort of a lot of my stuff, Americana roots kind of music. And then you know, my upcoming album is a mix of folk, pop, uh, and jazz. Well, I didn't know it was jazz until I recently submitted it to a couple of playlists, and
mm,
they wrote back saying, "We love it, but it's jazz."
okay.
And so that was interesting for me. And I've also started writing songs in Spanish because I spent a lot of time in Cuba over the past 10 years, and I got together with a community called Santa Clara, and
Mm,
they're really, really amazing singer songwriters. And they invited me to play, and I got really inspired by them and wrote a lot of the album that I'm going to be putting out very shortly called Stand Together there.
wow, that's amazing. That's so awesome. I love it.
Thanks.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Glad to hear you're doing so many wonderful things. And so I guess I know this is a hard one too, because you and I have jammed quite a lot over the years. And I know you like a lot of different artists, but what would you say? Do you have a favorite artist right now? And if so, why?
Well, I would say my all-time favorite artist is Joni Mitchell
Mm,
because of her versatility, because she always grew as an artist and she always changed and she experimented with so many different styles. And when I was younger, I didn't necessarily appreciate her more experimental and avant-garde stuff, but now I really do. I appreciate her entire body of work. And I think she's a real inspiration for me of an artist who follows their artistic vision and was able to realize it fully. And I'm hoping with some luck that I'll be able to get the financial support slash record deal to be able to make some really amazing pop music that I have in my head, but haven't yet had the funds to fully realize.
absolutely. You know, when I think of Joni Mitchell, I always associate her with you. I do, because I just feel like you are so connected that way to her in my mind. And I think you're amazing. And I think you should keep going. And maybe one day you can, and I can do a duet or something. We'll figure it out. Not like we haven't jammed before.
I would
You know,
love that. I would love to do a duet with you. That would be so fun.
he's so
I've
great.
actually done that very little, and you have such an amazing voice, and you're such a powerhouse. We could do something really cool. I would absolutely
But
love that. Let me know. Let me
I
know.
will. I will. I've got some ideas brewing as we speak, actually.
Awesome.
Yeah. So okay. So then the next thing I wanted to ask you was, this is a biggie. What advice would you give to someone trying to get into the music industry?
Well, I would say two things. One, follow your heart. Don't believe other people's opinions of you, because I've been really held back a lot in my life by listening to other people's opinions about what I should and shouldn't do. And
Hmm.
I think it can be very confusing for people, especially people who really have their own artistic vision.
Right.
And then the other thing is kind of the opposite of that, which is, yeah, educate yourself on the music industry. And if I were to do it again, I would not go to Oberlin and study classical music and composition, because I think that informs everything that I do. And I hope to be able to write symphonic music again. But I would say that having gone to a school like Berkeley, or a school that's particularly focused on the music business, for
Right.
somebody like me who's autistic would have been really useful. And I would encourage people who are starting to get into music to do some kind of music business education, because if you're an artist and you think like an artist and you think about trees, girls, and guitars,
Yeah. Yeah.
then I think it's really helpful to have that kind of baseline business understanding of the music industry, because I just had no idea that showcases existed, organizations to help musicians existed, grants existed. I wanted to open for the Indigo Girls, but I had no idea how one would do that. And, many things that were dreams that I hope will soon be realized could have been realized a lot earlier had I had some basic education about the music industry. So I think that's really important. A, be true to yourself, and B, learn what you're getting into, because it's not for everybody, as you know. What the music industry is very complex, and it is for me, and I'm willing to make the sacrifices slash lifestyle choices that are necessary for a touring musician. But people should really understand sort of what they're getting into so they can approach it in the most effective and fun way.
Absolutely, that's great advice, and I agree with you wholeheartedly there. That's good advice. Um, what would you say is one of the best things about the music industry?
Well, I think that one of the best things, one of my favorite things about the music industry, unlike a lot of industries, is that there's always room for another voice. There's always room for growth and innovation. And while it's a double-edged sword, there are standards, and there are, you know, moments, and a lot of people want you to conform to particular things. But if you can stick with your artistic vision and fully realize it and create something new that people haven't heard, then it can, change your life, your audience's life, and the world. It's an incredible forum. The music industry, I mean, I went into the music industry because of what a powerful cultural tool it is. I mean, I can think of one person, my old massage therapist, but pretty much everybody else I know loves music. It's a universal thing.
You found one person that doesn't like music. Oh my god!
My old massage therapist, he told me he never listened to music, and he didn't like music, and he had no interest in music. Isn't
Okay,
that so weird?
that's so weird. I've never heard that ever.
I know, me neither.
Kind of funny in a way too. But anyway,
But it is funny. I thought it was hilarious. I always asked every time I had a massager, like, "Do you still not like music?" Like thinking that he would have discovered something he liked.
yeah, yeah. I think Erica, I think you're going to turn this massage therapist around. It's a guy. Is it a guy or a girl?
It's a guy.
Either
Yeah.
way, I think by the end of the sessions, like the last session, you're going to turn him around. He's like, okay, fine, I like music. He'll just break down.
Actually, I saw him. He's not my massage therapist anymore, but I saw him at a gig that I was playing. That's the last time I saw him.
Oh,
And he complimented me on the music.
You turned him around, Erica. If anyone could do it, it's you. I tell you.
You're so sweet.
You're awesome.
But yeah, the music industry, I mean, what I love about the music industry is you can be yourself. That's why I went into popular music, because my family is all classical music, and as you know, I studied classical music and got to a certain level in piano and vocal studies, but I found the pressure to be perfect so intense. And what I love about popular forums, particularly in, well, any, folk, jazz, blues, pop, there's a lot of room for improvisation and being yourself on stage and kind of going with the flow. And that just fits my personality, and I find it really freeing and not stressful at all. So I really love that.
Yeah, it's kind of the complete opposite, right? You're releasing all this stress, and it's different than trying to make everything perfect, and it's the realness of it is the beauty, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can have catharsis without, pinching yourself into a perfect mold.
It's true.
Which doesn't really exist. And I know there is a movement now, especially in classical music, to popularize it and make it more accessible to people. But that's pretty recent.
Yeah, I would agree. What would you say is one of the worst things about the music industry? People there. Yeah.
People trying to fit you in a mold. Yeah. And people thinking that their idea is the only way to go. I've experienced a lot of prejudice from, I'm not going to get into who from,
Yeah.
but um, regarding wanting to be a musician who, I would say not all of my music, maybe like uh, a tenth of my music is focused on social justice issues, but receiving a lot of flack for that and not being able to get the support that I wanted. Now, ironically, it's getting popular to be a social justice focused musician, which I'm very happy about.
Yes, definitely. I mean, it's kind of like that whole movement is becoming more popular, I guess you could say. There's more of a spotlight on it. I know that you've been doing it for many years, and so I'm glad that it is getting that attention that it needs. Of course, we both know it needs way more attention, but anyways, but yeah.
Yeah, but I'm
So
glad that sorry, go.
no, that's okay. You were
You
saying,
now in the music industry, at least you are allowed to say your opinions,
yeah,
and if you've experienced misogyny or racism, you can talk about those things publicly without getting blacklisted in the same way that you did years ago.
yeah, which is good. We are making progress.
Hmm.
But just it's not where it needs to be yet. But anyway, so you were talking about your projects that you have coming up. Can you tell us a little bit more about it? Can you give us a little bit more information, or is it top secret?
No, I can totally give you more information.
Okay, okay.
So I wrote a lot of the songs in Cuba, and I wrote some of the songs in the USA and some in Berlin, and I think Nova Scotia too. I'm not sure. And it's called Stand Together,
Mm,
and it's about healing both personally and culturally, and working together across differences, cultural differences, and national borders to work for peace. And yeah, it's about love and empowerment, like all of my music is. Um, and it's a lot of solo voice with piano, and then there's some fully produced numbers that are my Spanish songs that I recorded in Havana at my idol studio, Silvio Rodriguez, who's like my
oh
favorite singer songwriter.
my
So that
goodness.
was very exciting. And I also recorded at Cuba's national recording studio called Egrem, and I recorded some of them in Signature Sounds in Connecticut, where I have recorded previous albums. And so yeah, it's a mix of American and Cuban kind of sounds and culture coming together, and yeah, inviting people to look a bit deeper at themselves and at our world and what's needed for refugees, immigrants, people fleeing domestic violence. I had to leave an abusive relationship in 2017, and there's one song on the album about that. And the song "Stand Together" is for refugees. My grandmother was a refugee from Hungary to Colombia, and my mother was a refugee from Colombia to the U.S. and then Canada. And so it's a very topic that's very close to my heart. And I think in this time of a globalized world, we all need to look beyond ourselves and think about how we can help people, because if you're part of a country that's inflicting war on another country, then it's your responsibility to help the people in that country. Just like if you're part of a community, and well, I won't try to get into another example, but you understand my point.
Oh yeah.
I it, the point the I guess yeah, I guess the album is an invitation to listeners to look at themselves and love themselves and find their own power, and also support everybody else finding their own power and thinking outside of the box in order to do that, because I think we're living in a time with so much division and so much judgment and so much self-righteousness on all sides. And I think that we really need to get back to humility and love and following the teachings of our elders and ancestors and whatever religion or ideology we choose to have or choose not to have. It doesn't matter. There's basic ethics and morals. And like today, I was walking in downtown Halifax, and this elderly lady fell down in the middle of the street, and the only people that offered to help her were homeless, unhoused people. And I was just a little bit shocked. And
Yeah.
that's the kind of thing, like we just need to stop living so much in our little bubbles of what social media tells us to do, and actually, be more involved with ourselves and with our communities, both locally and nationally and internationally.
Wow, I can't believe that nobody helps that person. That is so terrible. I hate
Well,
they did. Sorry, you said unhoused people did, and that's great to hear. But our society needs to be more like that as a whole. Like, where has our society gone? Like, there's just no humanity.
it's very shocking, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I saw a TikTok video about a guy on the 401 who was like, some guy was on the 401 for like 45 minutes, like lying on the ground, traffic jam, before somebody called for help.
Wow.
And I was very shocked, and I just, I don't really know what the solution is, because everything that we're being fed is like capitalist, consumer, image. You got to be perfect. You got to do X, Y, and Z, and you got to work till you drop. And to go against that, I recently got some psychotherapy from a cool German woman in Mexico, and it was just like free psychotherapy on the beach.
Oh, nice.
It was really awesome.
That's the best kind. Yeah.
And she confirmed to me, what I've always felt, that it's really important to follow your heart and do what you think is the right thing, even if it's not always socially acceptable. And I really struggle with that, because I'm a very outspoken person, and sometimes people get, rubbed the wrong way if I challenge people's boundaries or ideas. But it's always coming from a place of love, and I don't think that if we don't like wake people up, who will? You know what I mean?
True. It's true, Erica. It really is. Like, everybody needs to be woken up. They do. They need it. I feel like you're doing a lot of that with your music, as well as I like to hope I am with mine too. And I one day picture us going on tour together, girl, across the globe or something.
Oh, that'd be so fun.
Oh,
I want to play in a stadium with you.
Oh my God. Okay. We're working our way there, girl. So it's going to happen one day. I have faith it will. Can you imagine how fun that would be?
That would be so unbelievably fun.
Great. Then we can go skinny dipping afterwards, right?
Yeah, all around the world.
I know. We're like, hey, we can do this Nova Scotia. We can do this anywhere.
We're like, we have private security guards now.
Yeah, to deal with that. You don't like it? Oh, well. Yeah, for sure, girl. I love it. I love what you're representing, and keep going. I have so much faith in you, and I'm proud of you, and keep going. Don't take a no for an answer, girl. Don't. Okay?
Thank you. Okay. That's what I need to hear. The feeling is mutual.
Good girl.
And you're an inspiration to me.
Aww.
Someone, realizing your dreams. I mean, that video you showed me, that was amazing. The music, the production, your voice, always your voice.
Thank you.
And I think, we have to hold each other up and support each other. And I was so excited to get your message that you wanted to have me on your show. I feel so happy to connect with you, and I hope if anybody's watching this who wants to be an artist but hasn't fully realized their dream, my message to you is go for it. And I need to hear that from you, the don't take no for an answer, because that's really the most important thing in life, that, you know, people will not understand your project or reject you, and you just have to keep going till you find the people that do. A friend of mine, this cool lesbian from this lesbian inn in New Hampshire I used to play at, she told me that she lost her job, and she was, you know, a big like executive kind of job, and then she couldn't get a job, and she
Mm.
applied to 100 jobs before she got a job. And I had been like trying to get on Ellen and like trying to do a couple of things, but I only tried to do like a couple of things.
Yeah.
And she was like, you know, if you try to do a couple of things, that's not good enough. Like you have to like try like 100 things before you can say, okay, maybe this isn't working. And so now I'm not counting, but I'm really trying to reach out to the opportunities I want, rather than just be afraid and hope they're going to fall in my lap someday, because, you know, that's not how life works.
True, true. And you just have to keep pushing. You just have to. And sometimes that's it, not giving up. That's like one of the key things, right? Because I
I think
know we know you've got the talent, you know, and so like just keep going, girl. Just keep going. I'm a big fan of yours. I always have been, always will be. So actually, yeah. So I'd like to know, do you have a musical collaboration that you'd like to talk about? Have you done any musical collaborations? Of course, ours hasn't happened yet. So I mean, you know, that one's gonna be the best, of course. But anyway, okay, go.
let's talk about ours. Okay, we're going to be on an island, skinny dipping. No, just
There you go. There you go. See, that's going to be the best one. No, no, honestly though, have you done any collaborations that you'd like to talk about though in the past with other artists or anything? Or
yeah, I collaborated with some Cuban musicians, and my latest single, Santa Clara Moon, and my upcoming single, Swimming with Dolphins, were both recorded with this amazing pianist named Alejandro Falcon, who's
ooh,
from Havana and is a really hot jazz pianist. And he recorded a couple of different songs with me. We had a very limited time in the studio, and I brought him this one song, Montreal, that is like 8 minutes long and has like 15 chords in it, and is kind of through composed and very complex musically.
mhm.
And he learned it in, you know, 5 minutes, literally 2 run-throughs. We did one run through where he made a mistake, and another run through he played it perfectly, and he just, you know, just from his head. And I was just totally floored. I'd never seen anything like it, and ever since I've wanted to go on tour with him. And he recognized me. He said, "You're a rock star," and I was so, it was so wonderful to be seen by such an amazing musician. And then he said maybe we can go on tour and play with symphonies and stuff. So that's my dream. And I'm also booking a tour for next year with my friend Jaima Orozco, who's an incredible Cuban singer songwriter. And we're hoping to play in Europe and hopefully in North America as well.
I love it. Beautiful. What a beautiful name that pianist has. Oh my gosh. Oh geez. Okay, I can just imagine.
I fell in love with him.
Me too. Like the name itself is just like he has to be good looking. There's no question. Okay. So what is the most, this is kind of a hard one too, but I like to ask those hard questions. What is the most exciting show that you've performed to date? I know that's a toughie probably, but, or you can at least tell me one. It doesn't have to be your most favorite. I know it's sometimes hard to choose, but
It's hard to choose one, but the show that I was sort of the most thrilled about was Copenhagen Pride. I played main stage Copenhagen Pride in 2016, and it was just an honor to be on that stage with, you know, like, I don't know, half or all or a lot of Denmark was out in the streets supporting queer pride. And it was a really amazing experience and really fun. And it was my first time on on a really big stage, and I got to sing my songs. And yeah, I hope next time it'll be with a band.
yeah, that's amazing. That's an amazing story. I like it. I love it.
Thank you.
So I want to know, everyone watching wants to know, I'm sure, where can we find you on social media? Can you just tell us a few of your links?
Sure. Well, my website is ericacoolness.com.
Okay.
ERIKAKULNYS.com.
Okay.
My Facebook handle is Erica Coolness Music, KULNYS again. And on Instagram, it's Erica Coolness Music. And on Twitter and TikTok and some other sites, it's Erica Coolness. And basically, if you just look up KULNYS with Erica, ERIKA, you'll find a lot of different ways to connect. I'm hoping that I'll get more Spotify followers because I didn't really invest much into Spotify because, it's Spotify.
I know. And it's like you get like 0.04 cents per stream too, which isn't really great for the working musician. But
no, it's not a platform that's for artists. It's for
yeah.
for the company and for the public.
Mhm.
But I'm finding as I apply to things, they want you to reach a certain level of fandom.
Yeah, oh, for sure. And I mean, it's good to get your music out there anyways. I mean, if we're not talking about, streams and making money off streams, but it is a good way to get your music out there, right? So that's definitely a good thing. Yeah, yeah. Too bad they couldn't change that though and make it at least $1 per stream like it used to be. Like now it's like, oh my gosh, 0.04. Yeah. Anyway,
well, hopefully they will.
Yeah, hopefully.
I mean, a lot of like major artists like Joni Mitchell, Neil Young, and a bunch of other people pulled their music from Spotify.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with good reason, because really, like that's just it's highway robbery. Really, it is. But yeah, so and if everyone would like to follow any of, I'm sure you want to follow it. Any of Erica's sites are all running across the bottom right now. So just take a look at it. You can see all of the places to find her amazing music and to follow her. And please, everybody, follow her because she is a rising star. She's always a star in my mind, and she's rising every day. And please follow her, follow her, all of her stuff she's doing. Watch out. This girl's got amazing things coming. I just know it. And I'm really happy, Erica, to have you on the show. I'm happy for us to talk. It's been so long. I haven't been back to Nova Scotia in a while, but when I do go back for a visit, you are definitely one of the first people I'll be seeing because I love you so much, girl, and keep up the amazing work that you're doing. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you so much. I love you so much. And you're an absolute inspiration and a gem in this world. And I hope that everybody is as kind and tenacious and talented and loving as you.
Oh, mwah. Love you, girl, so much.
Love you.
Before I go, I'm going to say my last thing I always say at the end of my show. Let the music live through you. Don't forget it. Thank you so much, Erica, for being on the show. Everybody, go out and follow this girl. She's amazing. Okay. We'll talk soon, my friend.
Thank you, Shonna.
So much for being on the show. Talk soon.
Talk soon.
Bye.
Bye.